Alright, we're starting a little bit late. Sorry about that. We were talking about some mechanical things that didn't really need to be said. But also, new guy lost track of time and he decided to go to the bathroom now. So here we are. So yeah. We're back. And let's do the rest of the session.
Yeah. Well.
So you guys have anything that you need to do, or do you want to go ahead and skip to the next day?
That I think of.
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
I went over to my dependent's house to, watch a movie and have a nice spaghetti dinner, and got tired of hearing about how awesome Indigo Shade is during his interview. So I left early.
It's like I'm getting cut by myself.
Self-cucking?
I literally dicked myself.
Ah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I call my to say, don't die.
Great.
Hang up.
Click, like really fast, like, don't die, click. Like, who even was that? Alright, so that means it is now the next day. Who is going to meet the federal agents? All three of you? Just Indigo?
Yeah, I go.
What about you,
Don't know about
Oliver?
Stone.
What are we
JFK.
talking about? I missed
Oh,
the
he's back.
beginning.
We're going to meet the federal agents.
Yeah, are you going to meet the federal agents?
I will come because it is my duty, but in my face I look like I really don't want to. Like I would really prefer to have explosive diarrhea right now.
Okay. So, you guys come in your regalia. And, speaking of regalia, Zeus, you're Zeus. Indigo Shade has his armor, but Oliver, do you have, like, an official costume now? Or are you still just, like, mask, street clothes done? Or do you have, like, a full setup? Are you Daredevil Season 2-ing it up?
At this, it's been 6 months, so yeah, originally, Oliver Stone, to get it out of the way, probably just got a stupid, simple mask. Like, just
Like a wrestler's mask?
Yeah, like kind of a ski mask that he modified a little, so it looked not like he's gonna steal a purse from an old lady. And after that, like after 6 months, he's been like, you know what? Since we're in this gig and it doesn't look like it's gonna end anytime soon, he actually got like kind of a padded suit basically, so that when he turns into his steel form, he looks like he's muscular and stuff, even though he's not the most muscular guy in the world.
Right.
So,
I'd also like to add that because Oliver Stone apparently got a wardrobe upgrade with his new raise at my nightclub, I would like to add like the cloak, black indigo trim cloak with a nice brooch on it, kind of linking the whole thing together. I'm sure your imagination's probably picturing exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And well, at least that's what I would wear to this meeting. Like when I go to court or something like that, I'm not just gonna walk around in like my full-on battle regalia.
Sure, sure.
I just have tights, a symbol on my chest, and my cloak.
Okay.
Hood up always.
So
as with himself, even though he's not gonna fight, even though he has a costume, Oliver Stone always has his armor up when he's representing Steel Guardian.
Alright, when the three of you enter the detective floor, one of the officers is escorting you. You get a standing ovation. And, Indigo, you see your girlfriend there, and she's kind of looking you up and down.
And she has motion with her hand to her mouth, moving back and forth.
She's not that obvious. Self-cucking.
Oliver Stone's gonna turn to Gray and say, well, we know your girlfriend, right? Before I say my stupid shit, we know who your girlfriend is, right?
Yeah, I mean, you guys went to save her last...
Okay, she's come by, yeah.
So, Oliver Stone's gonna be a smart ass, turn to Gray and say, your girlfriend works for the FBI now?
No, she's not. She's still a police officer.
No, she's here just to see.
I know, but no, we're going to see federal agents.
Actually, she's doing her
so-
job. She's a detective. But anyway, yeah. So you guys walk past the detective floor, and the officer is taking you. He's like, so yeah, the federal agents they want to interview you. So we're taking you to the interrogation room. Now again, this is an informal interview. If you guys would like, we can arrange for a public defender if you feel the need to have a lawyer. But I don't see what you guys do. He sees that kind of look through the mask, Indigo, and he's like, and he kind of raises his hand. He's like,
Tilt my head a little.
he's like, hey, this isn't us. This is the federal government, man. So you know, they're gonna interview you each in turn, and then they've also asked that each of you take a different interview room. I don't know why. So he shows you the 3 interview rooms, and you each go inside. All right.
It's a setup.
Who would like to go first?
This feels like a setup.
Your
know,
characters don't
guys.
actually have a choice, but as players, who would like to go first?
I'll go
I was
first,
like-
just for shit and giggles.
There you go.
Okay. So Steel Guardian, you sit down in the interview room, and
don't
as the
really
officer who escorted you in leaves, he opens the door, and a guy in your standard issue federal suit comes walking in with a briefcase, and behind him is obviously a super of some kind, because she's wearing a costume. She
Here's Eclipse.
is
Apparently,
not
everybody
Eclipse.
who goes to Party City gets to be a hero now.
She looks like a Reese. Now, obviously, that information that you get to see right there, your characters don't know at this point, but that's what she looks like. She's got a
No.
purple cape coming down behind her. But I'll go ahead and introduce her hero name. That other background information your characters don't know, but you know. So the guy in the suit sits down and like straightens himself out, puts the briefcase on, opens it, and as he gets out a recorder and a notepad and a laptop, you know, he's getting out all these things. He's like, "My name is Agent Clemens. I'm a member of Topaz. This is my associate Scion. She'll be here to make sure everything remains cordial."
Have I heard of that before?
Make a common knowledge roll.
It is a smarts roll. There you go.
I got
Yes,
it.
you've heard of Topaz. So, because at least one of you has heard of, everyone who hasn't, you two make a common knowledge roll as well.
Of course. Oh, thank God.
All right, you all got it.
I'm
So-
not wounded.
Well, you still got it. But yes, you need to remove that
Danger.
wound. So Topaz is the Tactical Operations and Precaution Against Superhumans. It is the
Oh,
new
shit.
U.S. branch. Yes, it is your Argus. It is your Shield, and of course, it is an acronym.
I thought Shield loved heroes.
This is Topaz. It is the
Tax
government.
dollars at work for suppressing U.S. citizens. There
Yes, it is the government's official superhuman bureau, if you will. And so Agent Clemens gets out his laptop, and then he plugs in the recorder to it, and then he presses the. He's like, "This is Agent Clemens interviewing citizen known as Steel Guardian. Please state your name or your nickname, as it were, for the record."
I am indeed still Guardian.
I'd like to let you know that everything you say will not be public record, but instead be used in Topaz and any other government official documents or for classified hearing only. That being said, would you like to reveal your real name as it appears on your birth certificate at this time?
Not until I have further information as to why this interview is being conducted.
Bitch.
Very well. The super citizen does not wish to reveal his identity at this time. Like I said, I'm Agent Clemens. And I just have a few questions.
You may go ahead.
We've been making the rounds, Topaz has, and I'm a special agent, and I've been assigned specifically to handle the super citizens here at Perseton, because it seems to be a hot spot for super activity. And I would just like to know, in as much detail as you're willing to divulge, when you gained your powers, what your powers are, and why you have decided to become a citizen vigilante. You can answer in any order.
I'll be honest. Metagame, not true character metagame. I already forgot the last two questions, but
Your character
Okay,
can too. You're like
record,
if you weren't in steel form, you'd be sweating.
yeah. So okay, so I gained my power after the and Jaken, please complete the sentence because I do not remember the exact details. But the explosion of what exactly again?
Antimatter.
Yeah, the explosion of antimatter. Well, the character might not know that it was antimatter, but the big explosion that happened a while back. My powers are basically what you see in front of you, basically super resilience. I am imbued to small arm fire. I am stronger than the normal human being.
Everything you say,
And
he's
that's-
typing, in addition to recording.
Yeah.
What an
And that's about
asshole.
what I can think of right out my mind. But by thinking about these answers, what were the remaining questions?
Why you decided to become a vigilante?
Because first I did not decide to become a vigilante. At first it was more of a situation where I saw people need, such as thievery going on, gunpoint, store robbery, stuff like that, and I felt like it was kind of my duty as somebody who could stop these things.
He's nodding and he's like, so your classic oversense of heroism. Got it. All right,
At first.
now we're gonna start doing some intercuts, right? So obviously,
Yeah.
Special Agent Clemens is interviewing you, and he's gonna interview you each one at a time. But in order to keep the thing going and to keep everyone involved, we're gonna do an intercut to whoever's going next. Is it gonna be Roke or ZK?
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so he's like, could you state your name or nickname for the record, please? At this point, he's already done everything up to that point, you know.
Yeah.
He's introduced
Zeus.
Scion.
Yeah, I just go by Zeus. No, you know what it is. Takes conviction, whatever.
And
You know
so
what it is.
I assume Zeus doesn't want to divulge his real identity.
Of course not.
All right, so then he's like, and then he asks you the same question that he asks Oliver or Steel Guardian about your powers, why you became a vigilante, etc.
Okay, how I got my powers in the vigilante thing. Well, I mean, in all honesty, here, of course I'm lying. Be like, well, I just kind of got this special power where I just bigger. Actually, not that big, just a little bit bigger. A little bit
He's like-
bigger than you.
Did it
Pleases a lady.
occur 18 months ago during the antimatter explosion, or did it develop after that incident?
And I scratched my head and it's like, yeah, I think it was about like 18 months ago. The matter of flatter explosion, yeah, yeah, around that time.
And why have you decided to fight crime, as it were?
Was any
Well, I mean, my powers, it's just kind of one of those things. Just kind of told me when I had them, and it's kind of it was around the matter explosion. But you remember that whole incident with Protector?
Yeah,
Like,
we're
where
familiar.
basically almost destroyed half the city. Yeah. That's why I really started to develop into my powers, and I seen what happened there. I was like, since I have this ability to do what I can, and basically achieve the impossible, as scientists would say, I seen that I probably should stop supervillains and the villains alike.
I see.
The
So
police force, the people the police force can't reach, I'll reach them.
I see. So a misplaced feeling of responsibility, and then it cuts over. State your name for the record, or nickname, as it were.
I've come to be known as Indigo Shade.
Indigo Flame.
And then he asks you the question about your superpowers and origin.
So the name of a birth certificate is IC Wiener.
He writes. He types.
Oh yeah. So he doesn't type. I want to point out he's only typing when you guys are talking about what your powers do. That's the only time he's typing. But when you do your IC Wiener, he's like stone cold. He's not even looking at you, and he doesn't even react. But you see Scion like roll her eyes.
Like, I'm sorry. It's actually I spank myself. Um,
I'm sorry.
yeah, I'm sorry. I've been holding those in
parents love me.
since you asked Oliver, man. I've been over here cutting up, just waiting for a chance.
Go for it. Continue.
Size.
Keep
My
it going.
parents
Keep it going.
So,
truly love me.
So, I honestly, my powers, as you would call them, developed when the Large Hadron Collider happened to explode and antimatter shredded across the world. I'm assuming it was the LHD or LHC, whatever it's called. Read a book, find out how the world works. That's all I seem to do.
All right.
Things just became clear.
Cut back to Steel Guardian. And he's like, your group has had numerous encounters with the infamous Bravo team, as they're known. Could you describe those encounters and why you were unable to apprehend them?
They work well as a team. Basically, they tend to spread out, shoot at the opposite directions, like, crossfire style. And whenever it starts going south with them, they basically bail out, trying to bail as many of their members as possible. And as soon as they get the chance, they liberate whoever has been in prison. So that's why things have not been going very well with that team. As for encounters with them, well, I don't really have to describe it to you. I'm fairly certain as an officer of justice and an officer on a special assignment, I'm assuming. You've already seen what kind of warfare with weird guns and heavy weaponry can look like. So basically, they shoot at us, we shoot at them, while I punch at them as it goes. And yeah, we've been meeting them again and again and again and again.
Cut to Zeus. Do you have any knowledge about the incident in which the citizen known as Gravlock escaped from captivity at this very precinct?
Well, I mean, I heard of it, and it is also like the rumor going around saying that I was there, but I don't know.
All right, cut to
But
Indigo.
I do know Gravlock. I have heard.
Okay, yeah, cut to Indigo, and he's like, so the mayor has pardoned you for the manslaughter of 4 police officers.
And for that I am grateful.
For the murder or the pardon?
I'm glad they have
You've
you in
stated
another
on the record that you have no memory of the event. Would you like to amend that statement at this time?
room. Don't really know how I could. There's nothing else to add. I
Nothing.
Don't have
You
anything
haven't.
more to-
You haven't regained your memory in the 6 months since you made that testimony.
Unfortunately not. I think everything that I do have that runs through my mind is really just human nature trying to piece together what we would like to believe happened. But if I am to be objective and give you a truthful statement, all I have is what I've been told.
Cut back to Steel Guardian. When was the last time you or your comrades had a run-in with Bravo team?
Oh man, that's a good question. I would say 6 months-ish ago,
At the event at the docks?
well, Steel Garden used to really be thinking here, not only because his player does not remember, but also because he does not remember.
He's just like...
Yeah, I would say the docks. Can't remember.
Okay. Cut to Zeus. And he's like, I'm gonna... I have some...
Docs? What are docs?
I have some pictures here.
Guys,
And he's pulling out
Okay,
some...
guys.
He's pulling out some
wait,
surveillance
second.
screenshots.
Metagame here. Fucking Andrew Gray's whispering me stupid shit, and I'm trying to be serious here.
Oh boy.
I have some pictures here. So
Okay.
he's showing you some still images of the security footage of the interrogation room, where you and your mild manner are there, and it's showing. Remember, if you recall, the red dude who I managed to get his picture. I had his picture, but I didn't have it ready. If you remember Riser, who looked like this.
Oh, okay.
That was.
Roke.
Gareth Maul.
Roke is like, no, or
Oh,
no.
God.
And he's like,
I don't ever remember coming in contact with Darth Maul's cousin.
well, only Zeus did, to be fair. He's like,
Oh, okay.
so have you ever encountered this red individual in your experience?
He's talking to me, right? Or Zeus?
No, Zeus.
Me.
Zeus, okay, perfect.
But I look at the picture hard and like, oh yeah. You heard that movie Star Wars?
Okay, and that's where we cut. We cut straight back to Steel Guardian, who's still like this. And then we cut back to Indigo.
I'm gonna flourish my cloak around me and kind of readjust it around my chair.
And he's just kind of looking over his notes. And he says, Topaz is very concerned with having a admitted cop killer working side by side with law enforcement. Do you have any comment on that?
I think it'd be obtuse to cause judgment on me when those who would have the most cause for retribution have managed to forgive me.
Well, actually, and he pulls out a packet from his briefcase. He's like, there's currently a court case being assembled by the families of your victims in order to have your pardonship revoked and have you held accountable for your crimes. Do you have any comment on that?
People seek resolution through many channels. We see this time and time again, regardless of what the incident is, whenever people experience loss. But objective, educated, and elected individuals have saw fit to study the facts and grant me the pardon that was issued. If you would like to be hung up on an emotional response, I would be more than happy to provide you with one of those instead.
Alright, and then we cut back to Steel Guardian. And he's like, I have a few pictures I'd like to show you. And he puts out some pictures that you definitely recognize. It's of your apartment in smoldering ruins. He's like,
Oh shit.
the individual who goes by Papa Boom destroyed this apartment belonging to a citizen, and within moments you emerged along with your friend Zeus, almost as if you were
Yes.
inside the apartment. Is that, I mean, like, how were you able to respond so quickly? It's almost as though you were in the apartment when the attack occurred.
I'm gonna ask you a question before I answer yours. How did you get these pictures?
I work for the federal government.
So you're using Intel, right?
And then say,
He just kind of looks at you, and then points to the picture.
There you go. We superheroes do not act on guts. Do you think I walk down the street and go like, oh my god, there's a crime happening next street? No, I worked on Intel. I basically look up facts. I use computers, libraries, everything
my
I can
God.
get my hands on to figure out my opponents, where they will strike. And also, as you say, I have my own group of people. We all have our different capabilities, and we try as much as we can to foresee the next strike of our target, and one of them was Papa Boom that day. So we were actually headed up to that building because it was going to be targeted, and we did not expect him to basically blow us out of the building. But we were there. We were in the area, so we simply went up to see if we could get some survivors, help some people out, and when we saw him, we fought him.
Okay. Cut to Zeus. And let's see. What question for Zeus? Oh yeah. He puts out some more pictures of the fight with Buzzkill in front of that bank. And he points to the picture of Eclipse. And the picture, like all the light in the picture is being absorbed into her. So it's almost like you can barely see the outline of her giant shape. He's like,
oh shit.
this individual who goes by Eclipse has been operating alongside with you intermittently for the past 6 months. Are you aware that she is responsible for half a dozen police murders, as well as another half dozen bystanders who she's being, or he, it is being, they don't know the gender, so like it is being accused of manslaughter. It seems odd that your team would saddle up with this person without understanding fully what you were getting in bed with. I mean, we know that you have teamed up with Indigo Shade, who is responsible for the deaths of 4 police officers, and this Eclipse character is also responsible for a dozen deaths that we at least know of. Do you have anything to say about that?
It's like in my head, I'm thinking like, I plead. Oh wait, I'm not in the court. And I go like, I made this group the mind of helping people, and that is what we do. We help people, whether they're normal or even supers. Now, I do not know of the murders you speak of this woman, but I
And
do
he
know,
like his eyes, his eyebrows raised, and he quickly types something.
But you're a bitch. I was like, and I do know that the time she has spent with us spent well in helping us solve crimes, stop murderers, and put people behind jail. Most notably, of course, you already know, fucking mind games.
All right,
And also, I don't care if this is a case, I plead the fifth.
all right, cut to Indigo, and he's like, your team has had an impressive amount of relationships with super citizens from outside of your city. He puts out a picture of Comet. He's like, this guy was seen fighting with you for about a month before he moved west. And then there's also this guy. He puts a very blurry picture of Raptor, who we believe is operating in Miami. How is it that the 3 of you were able to make such connections? Is there some kind of hotline or, message board where you vigilantes all go to meet up and help each other take down the bad guys?
Well, we were hosting our conventions in the red light district in Amsterdam. That became too public. Then we were using Silk Road, and apparently that was a really fucked up website for us to choose. But emotion aside, considering we're not viewing that in our answers, I will tell you this. It is common knowledge that power invites challenge, and with that, we acquire attention. People notice when good stands up against evil, and when you have an impact on the world. It's as simple as that. We've managed to make a name for ourselves in a very large city, and when the villains of this city invite villains from other parts of the world, it only means to bring the challengers that they faced in those other cities, such as Miami.
Alright, cut back to Still Guardian. He puts out a very crappy picture, like it's hard to, the only reason you can tell who this person is because you know her, but it's a picture of Becky leaving the apartment building. And he's like, we suspect that this individual was inside the apartment. It seems strange that a woman in just everyday outfit was able to survive an RPG-7 blast, emerge essentially unscathed, and also the resident of that particular apartment, I mean, is just there's just a man living there. And as far as we know, it was empty at the time of the attack. Do you know who this is?
Oliver Stone's gonna look at the woman and say, well, I didn't know her prior to the incident, but I knew her after. She's one of the women that was visiting a friend at that time at that apartment, and of course, when the blast hit, we basically went up to make sure that everything was alright, and she managed to find her way, like, since she was in the hallway. When the blast hit, she basically got pushed away from the apartment and basically, luckily, I guess, managed to be mostly unscathed. She was scared, of course, you know.
Alright, cut to Zeus. And he's like, so, Mr. Zeus, I'd like to paint for you a picture. Your
Yeah,
companion,
haven't.
I'm
Nice.
playing draw.
your partner, Indigo Shade, is a admitted cop killer. Your other partner, Eclipse, is a cop killer, a suspected cop killer, grant you. Now, let's talk about Steel Guardian. Steel Guardian was in a street brawl, which resulted in Indigo Shade's capture. However, he was knocked unconscious in addition, but only Indigo Shade was taken by Mindgame. Does that seem strange to you, that they would only take one prisoner and leave the other? To just exist on the ground? They didn't even kill him.
I mean, like, yeah, it would be strange if it wasn't, mind game, which, of course, has been talked in the court. Mind game is obvious to the name. Use Indigo, control his mind, and made him do stuff that he doesn't remember, this fucked up shit. He probably left Steel Guardian as to be like, hey, I got one of you guys, I leave the other one, I can do whatever I want, fuck you. It was a little barley chip to show that he had power. Now I'm just slashing back in the chair and going like, you know what? I think I'm here because I'm black and I'd like to be an attorney.
All right, you attorney up. Okay.
I just asked, like, I think I might need an attorney. I'm not asking for one. But
Right.
I might need one.
So cut back to Indigo Shade. He's like, all right, well, obviously you're not in the mood to give us straight answers, but I will ask you a question, and I'd appreciate it if you answer it, because for now, it seems we're on the same team, this side of justice and law. Are you aware of any super villains, as you guys call them, operating within Perseton at this particular moment?
So I would first like to address your left-handed comment about my answers and ask you a question, because I'm sure you watch the news. You seem to be a well-informed individual, given it is your profession. Have you heard of Edward Snowden?
He's like,
Oh, no.
What makes you think that just because you come in here and tell me, oh, this isn't going to be available for public record, I'm supposed to believe that anything I tell you isn't at some way, shape, or form at some point in this lifetime or the next going to be made available to the public? And if that were the case, would you really want me divulging sensitive information in such a way that could be exposed? I'd imagine that somebody in your profession would at least appreciate that level of consideration. Now, to answer your question directly, I do think it's odd that they built a giant fucking statue in the middle or right in front of Precinct 1, which I'm also sure you're aware of. So yes, I am aware of a immediate threat inside of Perseton.
you're
And I'm
speaking,
not
of course,
ignorant
of
to the fact-
Blackstar. Enemy cut. I'll let you brew on that. Steel Guardian.
Yes.
So he's like typing something. He's like, so you're obviously the brawn of the operation. Is that fair to say?
Well, I'm certainly not the brain.
No.
And he's like, how do you feel working alongside two suspected murders? One confirmed, the other one suspected. And he's referring to Eclipse. We can assume at this point in the interview he's already mentioned her.
Yeah. I like to believe that people do what they think is best. So to me, as long as they have good intentions, or were in one case, or in the other case, were done under things that were not in their control, I can live with the repercussions. I can live with the whole ordeal that comes with it. But of course, if one of these people decided to turn outright evil, then I would stop them. There's no way around that.
He's like, okay. Damn. This is out of character. I had something I was gonna ask him and I totally spaced. Oh no.
Cut to Zeus and come back when you remember.
Sure.
What's the difference between us killing people and villains?
Oh, yeah. He was like, why do you feel like you guys have the moral authority to dictate justice? Shouldn't it be up to the courts to decide? I mean, obviously Indigo was pardoned, but Eclipse has not seen the light of the law. And then we're gonna cut. Let you brew on that. Cuts to Zeus, who's now like arms crossed, and he's like, "This is an informal interview. We could pause and get you a lawyer if you need. I don't see why you would need one. Is there a reason why you feel like
Well,
you seek counsel?"
I say my arms aren't crossed. I'm just like slouched back, and I'm like, oh, just I'm making comments of how much you're being very intimidating and asshole. Don't put that on the record. You're gonna put that on the record. Put on the record that
Everything's
you're an
being
asshole.
recorded.
Please don't write that
Mr.
down.
Zeus.
Oh, what do you say?
He says everything's being recorded.
Oh, okay. And I go to the recorder. He's an ass. All right.
All right, and then we cut back to Indigo. Your last question. I mean, the last thing said was we know about Blackstar. That was the last thing said. Do you have any comment?
Currently, that is the only immediate threat, and I say immediate, I guess, loosely, but that is the most pressing threat that I'm aware of in the city of Perseton.
How do you come by information regarding threats to the city?
Generally, when people start blowing shit up that isn't theirs, it tends to point us in the right direction.
So you are reactive more than proactive.
I understand that our methods of crime fighting are not standard in terms of what our police forces pursue, but that's exactly what our police force is. They are reactive, and we attempt to balance the protection of innocent lives with consideration for society's current beliefs of what is acceptable justice.
All right, Kadametsu Steel Guardian, you were just questioned. Shouldn't Eclipse be held accountable, basically?
So, Steel Guardian's gonna say, of course, a superhero does not have the rights to decide justice. However, haven't you never been in a situation? Let's put it this way, for example. You're a simple civilian. You're a man, you have a daughter, she gets raped. I'm sorry, but that's the situation. And the convict person is walking free because nobody is able to do anything about it because either they can't find him or whatever. But you have this convict in front of you. In a period of anger, it is possible that you will do things that would not fall under the justice system, and to me, I understand it. There are things that sadly we can't control. It's emotional reaction. We actually have laws under it, for example, passionate crime. So, yes, I agree with the fact that all heroes should be held accountable. However, to return to your previous question, do I mind working with somebody who might have murdered due to passionate crime? Not really, because I can understand how they feel or how they would feel in such a situation.
Okay, I only have one follow-up question, and it's for Indigo Shade. So, Special Agent Clemens is like, that's interesting that you say that you guys are reactive instead of proactive. I have it right here in my notes. Steel Guardian said that he and Zeus responded to a attack on an apartment building basically immediately, and his reasoning for his immediacy was that you guys were acting on intelligence gathered. Do you have anything to elaborate on that?
When the villain Papa Boom made his appearance inside of the city of Perseton, blowing up that building was not his first course of action. Once he made his appearance known, we then reacted to his presence inside of Perseton and proceeded to do what we could to remove him as a possible endangerment to innocent lives. You need to trace the timeline back further than what your presumed intelligence shows you. We did not pursue Papa Boom. He came to this city and began to cause problems, at which point we reacted. Our reaction is continuous until that villain is brought to justice.
All right. So next we're gonna see like a very heavily interspliced kind of sequence. He's basically gonna be wrapping up the interview with each of you in the exact same way. He's like, Well, I will thank you for answering my questions. Now, I have to give you this. And he
I'm doing
pulls
the
out.
scene change.
He pulls out a document. He's doing this for each one of you. So we're seeing this kind of simultaneously cut between the three of you. He's like, from here on out, all super activities, that is to say, super villain activities, is to be handled by Topaz exclusively. Now, we have decided not to press charges against the vigilantes who have been helping the country thus far. But this document here is a formal, call it a cease and desist, from your government, asking you to stand down and that your services are no longer required. We'll take it from here. And that's going to
So
conclude our
first-
interview. And he starts packing things up. The recorder's still on for each of you. Do any of you want to respond to that? Basically, you each have this
Well-
piece of paper that's basically like a legal cease and
Still-
desist.
Still, Guardian's gonna look a little bit be wild and be like, Topaz gonna take over for the protection of Perseton, and all cities, or just Perseton?
He looks up and he's like, the
And-
protection of the entire country, yes.
And how?
And he says, well, some individuals who gain powers happen to already work within the federal government. And he kind of gestures to Scion. And he says, so we will be proactive and reactive in our handling of any continued superhuman threats. We no longer require the aid of citizens. If you'd like to join Topaz, you can go through the channels. But for now, we would just like you to cease your vigilante activity. Any further activity on your part will be considered a criminal offense.
I'd sign this, but I'm not 18, so it wouldn't be legally binding. What do I do?
He's still packing things up, not looking at it. He's like, you don't need to sign it. It's kind of like, a court serving. You've been served.
I'm like,
So that has a camera on it?
wow. Well, that's nice to know that super fighting has gotten bureaucratical and shitty. Oh, excuse me, is that on record? I go to the recorder. Crime fighting has gotten shitty, and I walk away.
He's like, and as you stand up to leave, he's like, it is the government that should be in charge of fighting crime, as it always has been since the foundation of the United States of America. We hope you understand. And we
Yeah.
also hope that you don't get in our way.
Yeah, it's just like it is the government that wants to control everything, right? And I just leave on that note.
All right, and
And then-
as you open the door, you can see him like turn off the recorder.
Go ahead, Indigo.
I'll pick up the piece of paper, and I'm not gonna rip it or fold it, or I'm gonna obviously very blatantly treat the piece of paper with respect and say it should have been the government that showed up when Matthias was running the city into the ground, when he hired multiple villains who come into, or multiple supers to come into the city and terrorize it. It's only after the crime has been solved and property damage issued that you show up. Your reactiveness is that of molasses turning into amber. I am saddened that this is what we've come to, but at the end of the day, you're accountable to the people. And I'll pick up the piece of paper and say, good interview. I hope our next one is a little bit more formal.
And
Still
he sa-
Guardian
and
goes,
he kind of
"Go
looks
ahead."
you in the eye, and he's like, "That'll be up to you, Indigo Shade."
That it will. And I'll
Yeah.
get my cloak.
Still Guardian's gonna do pretty much the same entry as Indigo Shade. He's gonna, start packing up the only paper that he has, like, pick it up, just look at it quickly, make sure it's a legit letter. He has no knowledge in whether it's legit or not.
Okay,
he
so
just
when,
makes it look
when we're on
official.
Steel Guardian, he's not packing things
Yeah.
up like he is with the intercuts to the other two people,
Yeah.
and he kind of puts his hands together like I have been, and he's like, after this interview and after reviewing the incidents of the past 8 months or so, we would consider you a viable candidate to join Topaz. And he pulls out a business card from the briefcase and slides it across the table, and he's like, you don't need to make a commitment at this moment, but consider that your country is asking you to serve, or should I say continue to serve. Obviously, you won't be working with your former team unless my interviews with them yield some kind of positive result. So think about.
You hear like muffled "fuck yous" and shit.
Sorry, I'm offended. Fuck all of you.
Yeah, and then and he's like, so hold on to that and think about it.
Yeah, so Stilgarden's gonna grab the card and, you know, he would put it in his pocket, but right now it's steel, so... can't
Your
really
clothes doesn't
put it
turn to
anywhere.
steel.
You don't know that.
I do know
But,
that.
so, okay, I put it in my pocket then, and he's gonna say, I will think about that, and in the meantime, I will follow exactly what this letter says. I will sit back and watch as this city hopefully does not burn to the ground. However, I will say the following thing, whether you record it or not, it's gonna be this. You want to take over the protection of this city and the protection of this country, fine by me. You think you can do a better job than the vigilante that's been doing it for this city? Sure, that's also a very nice thing to do. However, I will not stand by if things go wrong. Despite branding myself as a criminal, if I notice that Topaz is not up to the task, I will step up again.
Well, that would be a criminal activity, and you'll be held accountable for that. I hope you realize that from this point forward, any
I
vigilante
realize
activity will be viewed as any other vigilante activity. And I'd hate for that our offer to go unanswered and for you to end up behind bars.
Oh, but with due respect, if you do a good job, I will consider your offer, probably join you and keep doing my crime fighting. And if you are not up to the task, then you will not be able to stop me. So,
If that's the way you
I'll
feel.
call you when I hit "fuck it."
Alright, and then, yeah, he packs it up. Alright, so then we cut to the three of you as Zeus kind of like storms out of the last interview. No, Zeus is the second interview. So as Indigo comes out of the last interview, the two of you are just waiting in the hall, and then the two agents are walking down the hall, and a police officer comes up to you guys. He's like, well, I hope you guys are doing all right. We've been briefed on what's been going on, and that's from me to you guys, as a citizen, not as a police officer. And he leans in. He's like, I think it's bullshit.
You like burgers?
I do.
Cool. Get your buddies, the grills, set up outside of First Precinct tomorrow at noon. We're gonna have a press conference.
All right, yeah. I don't think the captain will be okay with that, but I'll see what I can do.
Does he prefer wieners instead?
He chuckles, and he's like, I gotta see you guys out. I got work to do, you know?
A motion for him to walk ahead.
Alright. So he escorts you guys out, and by the time you get back to the HQ, the chief of police is holding a press conference, basically saying that the federal government is stepping in, and that any super who isn't a official working in an official capacity is now to be considered a vigilante. And you can tell by his demeanor that he doesn't like this at all. He thought the three of you were doing a fine job cleaning up the streets. Again, you know, in Perseton, crime's down 60% in the last 6 months. But he's like talking through his teeth. He's not happy, but his hands are tied. And you guys all regroup, as it were, at the HQ.
So, as soon as we regroup, Still Guardian, being the curious person that he is just gonna turn to his colleagues and be like, did you get offered to join too?
It's like, join what? That Topaz group?
Yeah,
What?
the Topaz group.
Fuck no.
Yeah, he said something about me spreading my cheeks and bending over, and then shortly afterwards I'd be given a name tag.
And I rubbed my beard and I'm like, you know, I did call him ass. He might give me an offer later on.
Yeah, I don't think your interview went as well as mine. I think it was an employment interview, actually.
Did they piss test you?
No,
Did they question why you were pissing mercury into a cup?
No.
Oh. They don't seem that intelligent then. No. In all seriousness, this is absurd. This is just another opportunity for some bureaucrat or politician somewhere to make a name for himself in solving a problem that's already been solved.
Yep. And of course, I will already put it on the table, guys. Uh, it would take something critical within this team for me to leave it. So obviously, as long as you guys want me as a colleague, this offer that they gave me is off the table. It's not gonna happen.
I'll adjust my sports jacket and look over at Oliver and say, when it comes to good people, I know that I'm not one of them. I operate the way I do because I worry that it would scare really the only two friends I have off. But I can appreciate your views, and I embrace them as I can, but that's not enough for these people. You are a good person, Oliver, and you make good choices. You follow your heart, and that's always led you in the right direction. What you choose to do is your decision. But I think we can both agree that if we found ourselves on opposite ends of the spectrum, we would both appreciate that the person across from them is doing what they believe to be his best. And
Yep.
everything else that follows would be just that.
Yep. And you do know that if we were, and I hope not, if we were to fight against one another in the future, I would not hold it against you.
And I wouldn't expect you to hold back either. Because you know that I won't.
Yep, but I would not feel personal. Like, I wouldn't do it for personal reason.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry, you guys keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm gonna kind of tilt my angle over to Zeus and say, if you don't feel comfortable doing so, I can try it on my own. But I would like to arrange a press conference tomorrow at Precinct 1 to directly address the citizens following the police chief's address to the people. And for the sake of time, oh wait, first I want to see what Zeus has to say. Sorry.
I don't really have much to say other than I mean, I'm a journalist. I already knew the line of events. It was basically going to lead to this, but I was hoping that the government was smart enough and would actually make us the leaders of the group and actually have us and give us the funds to start an organization and do this. But instead, they went ahead and took it south. I had a 10% chance. 90 was do their own thing.
Yeah. I can understand where they're coming from, but they're scared. Regular, normal humans, they're scared. And
Yeah.
they're trying to control something that they hope doesn't get out of their control without being able to recognize the fact that it has already gotten to that point. It just reminds me of the original mafia that came to the United States. They tried to control it, they tried to deal with it in their own way, and eventually they had to completely change and renovate the way that they pursued and fought crime. And I don't really revel in the idea of us having to live through another transitional period while they figure out that they are ill-equipped for this job. That being said, I would be honored if you'd get the opportunity to ask the first question for your tabloid at the interview at Precinct 1 tomorrow, if you could arrange some of your friends to show up as well.
Well, I stepped up on this game. But I can get my girl to come there and she'll ask the first question.
I would tell my girlfriend what's going on, but I'm sure she'll end up showing up anyway, since Indigo Shade is going to be there.
But like, I sit there and it's like, I will say though that, oh god, I gotta remember. Okay, I kind of remember. That, what they say now, and of course it's a group agreement that we're not gonna really follow what the paper said, and we're gonna still fight crime. But no matter your past dealings, and it was my hope, and it is how I follow my ideas, that in not killing these individuals, it would show people in the government that not just a reckless group, actually keep it together and we do what we can. But rather, and I don't know if Cliff's there, and I like how both had to go into Cliff's. I don't really care for your passes. Well, kind of do, yeah. I'll say I won't really care for your passes. I care about what happens now. And both of you show me that you do have restraint and you do have responsibility to the people, and have less of a quips. I have a little faith in the justice system, because if there's none, then there's no point in having order within the society. So basically, what I'm saying, I'm gonna stay with this group, not gonna leave it. But if it ever does come down to it, maybe it ever comes down to our choice where we have to fight each other. Just like Steel Guardian, I'm not gonna hold a grudge to either one of you. Maybe Eclipse. Eclipse, you're a bitch.
Eclipse crosses her arms, and she's like, "What the fuck happened?" Like she's totally in the dark.
Like,
Oh, I give her my copy of the paper.
Oh, and she's like, "Fuck." That's all she
The federal
says.
government is going to. The federal government's going to arrest you, and they're attempting to throw us in as your cohorts and hold us accountable for your actions as well as mine. Now, I have shown over the past 6 months that I'm not willing to kill people anymore. The first time was a fucking accident. Forgot my weapon. My weapon was lethal. At the docks, I totally forgot. That being said, they fired first, so that's self-defense. They don't control the airspace, but no, I have. And I'll look Eclipse dead in the eye and say, I don't know your story, and if we're to be frank with each other, which I'm sure you can appreciate, I don't really care to hear it right now. Same as you don't want to hear mine. But I can appreciate where you come from, and the decisions that you make, I'm sure, come from somewhere. Same as mine. That being said, we have to appreciate that what we do here is more important than just either one of us. I'm not thrilled about this, but we have to work with it to the best of our abilities if what we mean to do is truly to make an impact.
Okay, so she's kind of got like this kind of look, you know, like she's not really comfortable with this conversation, and so there's like this pregnant pause, and then she just kind of like points behind her with her thumb, and she goes, "Yeah, so the toilet's clogged."
Get some rest. I have to wake up early tomorrow to be at Precinct 1.
And Till Guardians is gonna head. By the way, my plan regarding all of this, anyhow, seeing as how this city always goes to crap every single day whenever we act, whenever things happen, it just seems to always try to one-up everything. I was gonna give Topaz 1 week of, you know, try what we've been doing. See what you can do against whatever we face every single day. And let's see how they deal with it. If they do an actual great job, why the hell not? But between you and I honestly doubt it.
All right, so
Indigo Shade briefly, I'm sorry, Jake, just real quick. Indigo Shade briefly looks through one of the books that we have in our criminal library and says, Dark Age of Camelot! No, it happened. But don't edit that part. Federal government should have all powers in which the state government is not explicitly offered. If we can convince the governor to create his own superhero fighting task force, we'll be okay.
Man, you kind of reminded me of Pirates of the Caribbean, Jack Sparrow.
and yeah, as you guys are talking, Eclipse is like,
More like the face.
"Yeah, I don't know how to unclog a toilet, so."
Get one of your fucking shadowy minions to throw a damn piece of fucking roto router shit down there.
And if your toilet is clogged, you can use CLR.
All right,
Like Eclipse,
so let's go to let's cut to a small like montage. How do you guys spend the evening? What do you guys do tonight?
Well, Steel Guardian's gonna be kind of, you know, well, shit.
So you're just like at your apartment being like, fuck.
No, well, actually, it's just gonna be like, need to change my mind about this. Like, for tonight, I mean, there's nothing I can do, and I'm still gonna be true to my word, at least for tonight, that I'm not gonna do any crime fighting or whatever. Anything happens, it's out of my hand, I'm clean. So he's gonna take this as basically a day off, and he's gonna use a little bit of his money to go to a very fancy restaurant, which is just anything better than McDonald's, because he's not the most,
Who the fuck gave you the day off? You work
I
6
gave-
to 2. Get your ass in there.
I'm your assistant now. I scheduled myself a day off, and you can't say anything because you don't look at your goddamn assistant manager thing.
My God, I have 900 messages in my inbox.
All right. So what are the other two of you doing?
I'm gonna invite my dependent over to the club, and I want to discuss with her opinion on the police chief's.
Right. I suppose I don't have to
CCTV.
tell you. She's not a happy.
No, of course
Okay.
not.
What about you, Zeus?
I love Indigo Shady's hero ever made. And well, basically, I'm like, well, now I know the government's tapping me. Or they're gonna start testing my pee now. He's gonna basically like,
Probably all cover our webcams.
and he basically like, he knows there's a secret way to leave the hideout. He's gonna be extra sneaky and kind of find his way to his dependent. And
Why the toilet's clogged.
Yeah.
of course, this is normal.
I was gonna add that, like,
This is normal.
during the montage, it shows the clips trying to unclog a toilet.
Damn it!
All of Zeus's fucking used condoms that he just flushes down there.
Oh no! Oh. I go to my dependent, of course, in person in my normal form. I'm like, well,
That's right. You told her
Yo.
that she knows your identity.
yeah, I know, she knows, but I'm gonna go in my normal form.
Right,
I'm
right,
going
right.
Zeus. Of course, I tell her the whole thing and how all the interviews went and all that shit. And be like, well, I don't know about you, but of course my comm link is not, I fucking don't know how to put it. Off the grid. Comm link went off the grid. It's in the forest now.
Okay, so who that evening has a television?
I'm
Within
not
the-
really
I'm
wrong.
at a club.
If
Yeah, I mean, I'm in my
a
office,
television.
in my VIP lounge. I'm sure they.
All right,
have
let's
to-
assume all of you, kind of at the same time, because obviously this national story is breaking. It's late in the night. I assume those of you who none of you are going to go to bed early. Like you're going to have problems sleeping tonight because you have a lot to think about. So it's like late at night, like 10, 11 p.m. That's late for a guy who has a kid. Shut up. Yeah, there's this national breaking news, and the reporter is like, "This is coming in from Miami. It seems that the vigilante known as Raptor has been placed in custody
Oh no.
by federal officials." And there's like some footage of like obviously Raptor because he has wings, being like carted, and he's like all kinds of chained up, basically being carted around by these high-tech troopers, and they're taking him into this armored car, and there's like you can see the flashes of all these cameras as they're filming it, and it's got the overlay of whatever news station this is, and it's like it appears that despite the national announcement about vigilante the vigilante crackdown being done by the federal government, Raptor took to these streets. And what basically became a sting operation as he ran into federal agents of Topaz. He was then apprehended, and as you see now, he's being loaded into an armored vehicle, being taken to a secure facility hopefully to await trial. This is the first vigilante to test the federal government, who have made good on their claims that they are now taking over the super villain fighting agenda. We're just hearing that 2 Topaz agents were injured in his apprehension, but they are expected to make a full recovery.
Damn.
He is being charged with vigilantism and assault of a federal officer, as well as resisting arrest. The nation now holds its breath to see what's going to happen next. What other vigilantes across the nation will defy the federal government? And aren't they just trying to keep us safe?
I go like, the only thing I can say is like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Raptor was gonna get caught. Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Well, remember, Raptor has like D12 stealth. Like, out of all of you, he's the one who shouldn't have gotten caught. But he also is going to be the one who's like, no, fuck you. I'm going to go save my city. Miami.
You get lured into a trap. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's Miami. This
I gotta go
city
to the bathroom
shit.
real quick. I'm
Save
sorry.
it.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
This
Like,
whole
so
fucking
quick.
state is shit.
Wait,
I'm
no,
saving it.
Indigo, god damn it.
What? I'm back. Hey, I hold it. What's up?
Well, go pee, but be quick, cause we're next thing that's gonna be your press conference. So go pee quick.
Press conference.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of bullet points. I'm not gonna give you a whole speech just to save time. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you. Beer. I blame beer.
Ah, I get back. Well, I get mad that Raptor got arrested and start beating my girlfriend.
Oh, wow. What? God damn it. No, but Oliver, as you're watching the news,
Yes.
your Becky calls you, and she's like, they got him. They got Raptor. Raptor's they're taking him to jail.
Yeah, I'm watching it right.
She's like, I don't know. I can't be in Miami, but I need to be here for Raptor. I don't know. I don't even know where they're taking him. They're not taking him to like normal jail. They're taking him to some kind of black site. Like, what am I supposed to do? What is happening?
What's happening is that there was a cease and desist against superheroes. They want the government to be in charge of all the crime fighting.
Yeah. Raptor told me all of this, but I just why? She's being emotional. She's a
Yeah. Well, Oliver Stone's gonna say.
My wife's
"You
glaring
can't
at me.
do
It's
anything."
true.
Yeah. So, Oliver Stone's gonna say, well, you can't do anything on your own over there. You're not gonna bail him out. You're not gonna be able to, save him. But we could always look into a solution better. Over here, we've laid low, so we're pretty much still safe right now. So we have a little bit more of manpower, a little bit more of leniency.
She's like, yeah, I think okay. I'll get on I'll get a plane ticket and I'll fly up there.
I come over here so I can bang you.
Of course, Zeus ups. But yeah, no. So I'm gonna tell her like, I'm sorry for what happened to Raptor. I did not think that he would keep on crime fighting despite everything, but I can't blame him from doing it.
She's like, well, you only met him the once, but I thought he kind of gave up that vibe. It's not like he can get a job at as a bistro at a
No, but at the same time, I
Barista.
thought he would have. I thought he would have the reflex or the. I don't want to insult the man. He's a very brilliant man. He's a very good man. But I thought he would have the smarts to lay low at least for a little, because they're gonna be on high alert after that cease and desist. But anyhow, I'll pick you up at the airport, and I'll bring you. You know where. I don't have to say it.
Okay, I'll let you know when my flight's gonna come in. That was painful.
Thank you very much. See you soon.
Okay. And now we can cut to the next day. All right.
I told her she's gotta go to the conference and ask a question first.
Okay, yeah. All right, so Indigo Shade is holding a press conference at Precinct 1. Zeus and Steel Guardian, are you guys going to be there in solidarity? Are you going to be there incognito? Or are you not going to be there at all?
I'm
I'm gonna be there until that dirt.
I'll be in Miami in spirit. Actually be there, but I'll be far away on top of a building, looking down like a hawk of its prey.
Okay.
Whatever the hell that means.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead, Indigo.
So I'll try. Yeah, give me like 3 minutes. So I'll start my press conference off with greed, power, and money is what has brought me before you today. We all know that the war on crime, to some, profit-making machine, and we see that here now. And I'm going to hold up the piece of paper that I was issued. This document here demands that we cease. Oh, give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
Vote me for president.
Oh, well, there she is anyway. Okay. Come on, go sit down. But yeah, I'll say money, power, and greed is what has brought us here today. Federal government seeks to control and stop us from what we've been doing for the city for the past 6 months. My actions in the past have been worthy of judgment, and my actions in the future beg your forgiveness every day. But where we stand now is that this decision has no longer been offered to the people, to the government. They would have us cease. My ask of you is that if you would have us adhere to this law, we will do so. Because it is the will of the people, not the government, that represents them. But if you feel that this piece of paper, that this document, is unfounded and unjust, then we would ask that you exercise your democratic right to rise up and elect officials to support your mayor in supporting a local jurisdiction that would allow us to continue what we have always done. But if you believe that the federal government is not here to increase their profits by providing weapons to a select few, not even to our police force, that it is up to them to have protected you for the past 6 months, and you feel that they'll be able to do so in the future, then we will stand down, and we will adhere to this wish. But make no mistake, we wear masks to protect the ones we love, and it's a huge crowd, but I'm still going to find Zoe in it, and I'm going to be looking at her. There's such a large crowd, you know, that I'm sure that there's other people who are like, oh, he's looking at me. Because I figure, what the fuck, I'll just have fun with this now since I have to live with it. So, we wear masks to protect the ones we love, and so we can continue to do what this city needs. I've come before you today to make clear our intentions, or at least my own. And you can see me supported, and I'll motion over to Steel Guardian, by one whose moral compass has never been in question. If you would have us stand down, then we will stand down, and we will defer your protection to that of the government, which has failed you in the past 6 months. But if otherwise, then support the movement, speak up, and have us know what you would have us do.
Alright. In the midst of you making all that, Steel Guardian, you're kind of like standing beside him, looking over the crowd, and something catches your eye. You look beyond the crowd, and in front of Precinct 1 is like a park-like area. It's basically this green block. And of course, there's this big-ass statue of Protector. Behind the statue of Protector, you see something unusual. It appears to be a armored man riding a black steed trailing fire. And the horse is trotting across the field, leaving scorch marks as it goes, headed straight for the gathering. And as Indigo Shade kind of completes his speech, and everyone kind of is about to ask questions, or like you guys start getting barraged with questions, Steel Guardian, you like lean in and you're like tap tap tap, and you point, and Indigo looks back, looks past the reporters just as this rider comes marshaling up, and he's kind of muffled, you know, like Brian, if you will, but he's got this booming voice, and he goes, Indigo Shade!
And I throw off my cloak, and you see that I spray painted "fuck the feds" across my chest. No, I don't do that.
And as he does it, his horse rears up and makes this like robotic neigh, and it's kind of apparent to you now that this isn't like a horse. This is a robot built to look like a horse, and like fire shoots out of its nostrils, and it goes like this robotic neigh sound. And the guy draws a sword and raises it in the air. And then as the horse comes down, he points it at Indigo. And he's like, I am the Black Knight, and I have come to fight you in mortal combat.
Some dude with like a big D12 needing battery boombox like hits it and dun 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 dun. No, okay. No, Mortal Kombat. I'm not that old, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I know. No. Silly.
All right, so
Well, I don't know if you missed it, but we just got an order saying that I can't whoop your ass in front of all these people.
That's what he looks
if you want
like.
to meet in the park later,
Well, wait a minute. I thought.
I'll bring some WD-40 for your beat-up ass horse.
he's like, "No, sir, I shall have satisfaction.
I'll
Very
satisfy you,
generous.
all right.
Step forth and face me like a man."
Or step fifth and win a toaster.
And like, now all the reporters are like looking back between the two, and they all hold up their microphones to you, like waiting for you to respond.
I'm gonna look down at a watch that isn't there and say, "Wow, now would be a great time for Topaz to show up and protect me from this would-be assailant."
Oh, and actually,
bitch.
as you say that, Scion descends down from behind the precinct, kind of flying between you and the Black Knight.
I repeat myself again, son of a bitch.
Still, Garden's gonna turn at Andrew, at Indigo, and say, "You had to say it."
Beautiful big titty women are gonna fall out of the sky.
Oh God, why is there a giant here?
Currently a fight.
Well, we're doing this for,
Yeah.
visual aid.
I'll look up at Scion and say, "Oh, our tax dollars at work. Shame our
Finally.
people are still hungry."
Yeah, she's like, "I am Scion, a member of Topaz. If you're looking to start a fight, you're gonna have to fight me." And the Black Knight throws his helmeted head back and goes, "Ha ha ha ha! I do not wish to fight you. I am sure we'll get there eventually. I have come to face Indigo Shade, and Indigo Shade alone. My blade will taste his blood, and then I'll see about you, madame." And she's like, and she just kind of like
Roof.
crosses her arms. She's like, "That's not how it works. You're under arrest."
Indigo Shade looks over at Steel Guardian and says, "I hope you have more than one copy of that mask, because I feel like it's about to get tarnished." And I'll reach up and unhook the brooch from my cloak and just let it fall to the ground.
I mean, I see this from the rooftop, and I'm like, I wonder if it's called in a storm for dramatic effect. Always makes it
Whoops.
cooler.
All right, well, yeah.
I'll move out from behind the podium and start like towards the top of the steps and slowly start taking step by step down and say, "Being reasonable, I know this isn't going to do any good, but I would ask that all non-supers in the crowd disperse for your own safety."
Yeah, the reporters and the camera crews start hurrying to the side. And then the Black Knight looks down at you, and he's like, "Are we going to fight, Indigo Shade?" And from above you, because she's still floating. Yeah, she kind of looks down at you, and she's like, no, you will not fight. Put down your sword, get off the horse, and come quietly.
Oh, okay. I'll look up at Scion and say, "Regardless of your court order, you cannot remove my inalienable rights, such as that of self-defense. So if you plan on defending me in this, go right ahead. But if he swings at me and you fail in your job, I'm going to butcher this asshole in front of everybody."
And still, Garden's gonna turn to Indigo and say, "You probably shouldn't use the word butcher."
I thought a mimosa in the morning would be okay before doing the interview.
Yeah.
So,
for fun,
the
I'm
Black
okay.
Knight rears up his horse again, and he goes, I knew that there would be dishonorable misanthropes interrupting my honorable duel, so I arranged to ensure we would not be interrupted. And as he says that, a shot rings out and hits Scion, and she just goes like flies backwards and slides to the ground, tumbling in a puff of smoke, and a little bit of leaving behind a trail of splotched blood.
So at this, Ryan's gonna go like shit, and then he's gonna be like, "Indigo, call me if you need me. I'm gonna go see if she's okay."
I'm gonna take the little roll that I have for my own personal first aid kit, because I'm that kind of guy, and I'll hand it off to Steel Guardian, and then I'll look up and shout, "Don't say anything if I can fight this guy." Excellent. and then with that, I'll draw my gypsy dagger, and then almost look like I'm going to shoot an Eldritch Blast at him, but instead, as I thrust my hand forward, the blast will fold backwards and form into a shield, and I'll stand there ready in your stereotypical sword and shield stance.
And still, Guardian's gonna take off and see wherever Psycho, whatever,
Scion.
Scion
And I hope
landed.
Indigo.
Like sigh, like
to help
sigh,
Indigo.
and then on.
To help Indigo, I'll just call a storm.
Okay, roll a d6.
Let's see if I just get a 1 out of this. Look at that, bitch.
Do you want me to put you in initiative?
He
I
looks
mean,
over
okay,
and sees Zoe
fine.
swooning.
I'm not gonna really do too much other than
I'll
call
put
a
you in
storm
at
if he
on
gets-
hold.
There you go.
Alright, Indigo. You get a 5.
Fuck you.
5 of diamonds.
The
There are
Black
52
Knight
cards in that deck,
gets
and
the
that's the one he
3,
drew.
Well, you got
Okay, I feel a
3.
little bit better.
and his steed Nightmare gets a 4.
Don't make me fight a horse.
It's a robotic flaming
on
horse. Alright, you're up.
So, I mean, like, we're done talking. Combat is clear. Like, this engagement is happening. I don't feel like I need to say anything else.
Yep.
Excellent. So, considering the sword comes out of the forearm, and we have some distance between us, I'll look to my left, look to my right, make sure I got a good backdrop. Yeah, I'm sure this will work. They'll move. And then, you know, sword and shield ready. Instead, I'll throw my hands down, slap them together, and my shield will collapse into the two hands, and I'll use a two-fisted attack to shoot 2 Eldritch Blasts at the knight.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
first attack.
Oh, hang
off of
on.
The main hand.
The Black Knight has quick. That means if he gets a card 5 or lower, he gets a new card. So he actually is going to go first.
I already started my turn.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
What's
yeah.
it matter now? I mean,
Yeah, well, now this just means he's going to go before Nightmare.
okay. So my first shot. Oh my god.
The
My
shade
second
of
shot with
darkness.
my offhand.
Oh, he has
That
deflection.
makes sense.
So,
I think it's a -2.
no, he has it
Could
at
be wrong.
rank 5. So you get a
Oh.
-5 to all ranged attacks made against him because of his shield, basically.
Okay, so I don't hit him.
Right. You would have hit him with that second attack, but instead it hits his shield.
Oh, it doesn't show up on the shooting roll. Darkness, magic,
Right.
if it matters.
Magical.
Everything I do is darkness, magic.
Alright, he spurs the horse to charge forward at you. And then he comes by and swings his sword as he kind of like glances past you, you know?
I managed to reform my shield and sword and go to block, and I managed to just barely block it off my shield.
Yeah, like
That's-
like
I mean,
his
that's my
sword
defense.
his sword meets your shield as it's forming, you know? Like it would have hit you
Yeah.
if your shield hadn't been there. And then he rides back, and then Nightmare kind of turns around
Oh.
and is going to attempt to, I think, if I'm not mistaken, yes, breathe fire on you. So this is a cone attack. I believe that means you need to make an agility roll in order to evade it.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, you dodge out of the way as fire streaks past and you kind of roll to one side. Alright, new cards?
You didn't roll for
Oh
the...
yeah, Jake. Can
I don't have to.
Nope.
I just need to beat a 4?
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to roll a 4?
If I'm not mistaken, that's how area attacks work.
Oh my god. I should have taken cone attack for my ranged attack.
I mean, it's pretty easy to move out of the way of it, to be honest. If all you need to do is get
You
a
say
4.
that until I roll a 1. So, not to,
okay, hang on.
cock myself in the ass. Yeah, you gotta roll a shooting roll and I have to beat it. But I've been doing this all night, so why not just continue to fuck myself?
How is it different with a cone attack?
What's up?
I don't want to
no
sit here looking at
points.
rules.
Targets may avoid the attack with an opposed agility roll versus shooting test.
Okay.
It's in the power description.
Oh,
I'm looking right at it. It
Cool.
just happens to be
So-
the page I'm on.
you got an 8. So I just need to beat an 8 with this? I did not. Okay, so
Yes.
you duck out of the way. Alright, Nightmare gets... It's not letting me...
Yeah.
The shit. It's not letting me give it to him. Okay. Jack
Because you shouldn't get a fucking initiative. That's
of
why.
diamonds.
Mm.
It's not letting me like
This
get rid of
guy's-
the card. There it goes. Okay.
Bitching about.
Indigo
is this horse
gets-
at least female?
It's a robot. It's
Whoa. Well, I mean, you still call it he or she. I mean, the guy's just double teaming me with another male, and he's talking about being dishonorable.
to be fair, his sidekick is part of his power set.
That's fair.
I'll probably come off a hold.
All right. Okay, right now.
I'm not doing anything. Ow.
Okay. Roll agility. All right, you're up.
When I strike a lightning hit, do you know where it came from?
The sky.
Just the sky.
Yeah, you called down rain.
I'm just trying to think. It was before I called down rain. Now rain's hitting. Can I make a notice roll to see if I can feel like I can determine
You could what?
a notice roll
For what?
to see what I mean, if it came from the sky. I don't know. To see if I can actually determine if it really did come from the sky.
What? Your
I
lightning?
strike lightning that hit the chick. Can't
Oh,
remember her name.
that was a gunshot.
Oh, that was a gunshot from him.
No, from somewhere.
Oh yeah.
So
that's
he
what I'm
wants to
looking-
make a
that's what I'm
notice roll to
looking
see if
for.
he can
That-
find the
yeah.
person who shot.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I know it's the world. I wish I had the 16 before, but whatever.
You don't notice.
Yeah, right.
What's that?
You do not notice.
I don't.
You don't find the shooter.
Mm.
But that's going to be your action.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's Black Knight.
That's all I was looking to do.
Okay. Black Knight, once again, he's going to ride by you and attack.
So I take it he's not actually leaving my melee range.
Yeah, he's kind of like circling you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, he's going to spend a Benny.
Good work.
He hits his horse.
All right, Nightmare is going to shoot out some fire at you. Beat a 14.
Yes, you can.
So he hits with a raise. 18 damage, AP 1.
Taken.
You're shaking.
Yeah, because it drops me down to 15. So it's not 4 over.
All right, you're shaking. You're up. Roll spirit. You're no longer shaken.
So, considering the horse is part of him, do I feel
It's
like
not
the
part of
horse
him.
is
It is
covered-
its own. It's a sidekick.
Well, that's what I was asking. Like, is the horse covered by the shield?
No.
Okay. So, they're gonna come back. The horse breathes his fire. It's gonna fucks me up a little bit. I managed to block his attempt at me, and as they're going by, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna double blast at the horse. So, my first shot at the horse.
Doesn't his parry.
Why do I need to hit his parry?
Because he's in melee range of you.
Oh, that's right, because they're doing... Oh, wait, then I get to make a... Oh, that's fucked up. I'm picturing them still riding away. Well, if that's the case... Ah, that's so stupid. Oh my god. Okay, well, with my offhand attack, I'm going to attempt to stab the horse.
Your shield like turns into a second sword.
Yeah.
Or the shield would have
A blade comes out of it
It's my
as a
offhand,
as a
yeah,
tar.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It shoots a blade at the horse. The
Good,
belief is
good
real.
talk. Glad we had it. Okay.
The belief.
All right.
Bacon drinks his mug of alcohol.
If that were all vodka, I'd be dead.
I like to picture it.
Zeus, you get the
Ah,
Black
yeah,
Joker.
Oh, it's not me. Oh.
Too bad I can't give cards away.
The Black Knight does not get a 4. He gets the Ace of Hearts. And Nightmare gets the 9 of Demons. It's actually letting me give it to him this time. Alright. It's going to be the Black Knight's turn. Zeus, let me know when you want to go.
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
Well, I see this fight's completely unfair. I'm like, oh, this fight's unfair, but I want to stay on this roof as I can still see him. I make a decision that I do not know. I'm gonna lightning strikers.
Which one? The horse or the rider?
The horse.
Okay. Roll spirit.
If they're made of metal, does he get an advantage?
That'd be a little weird, but true.
I don't think so.
I thought there was some. Well, maybe that's a full set.
Maybe
You hit with a raise.
Okay, that's a raise. What is going on with fucking roll 20 tonight?
Every
Sorry, I
night.
forgot to put the +2. Raise. There you go.
Damn.
I kind of enjoy this power. All I have to do is see them, and I can hit them.
So that's 3 wounds. So Nightmare's gonna blast one of his.
Bennies.
I want to double check that the sidekick does get bennies. Yeah, a wild card sidekick.
Sidekick?
Yeah, he's gonna blow a
I think they're
Benny.
just like a novice.
Yeah, he'll take it. So he takes 1 wound. And Nightmare is shaken. Black Knight
I shook his booty.
is going to attack. He's gonna use his last Benny.
As he comes charging at me, I'm actually going to use my fly a little bit, and I'm going to try to jump up in the air to prepare for my attack. And as he hits me, he's going to hit my shield and start to make me like rotate around.
Okay. Nightmare's turn. Going to make a spirit roll. Yep. So Nightmare is going to try to blast you.
He's gonna touch you.
You got an
So
8.
I have to roll for that. I'm shaking, right?
No,
We
you were
just
shaking
determined
last
that?
turn. He
Oh,
missed
and I
you.
rolled out of it. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't. I have to roll my agility.
Right.
Yes.
Wait, even if it's parry, because it's a cone attack.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't parry fire.
Yeah.
Alright, that's
Good
gonna
hit.
be a hit. However, I don't think it's technically a raise. Because if he matched
'Cause
you,
it's
would
more-
that be a hit?
Yeah.
The answer would be no. So yeah, I'm gonna go with not a raise.
Not
So
a
no
raise.
damage. Basically,
don't
it
know that
scorches
as
your
I'm-
legs ineffectively. Now your turn.
Yeah. So as I'm carrying through the momentum of the original
Oh, I hit him
attack,
for 22. That pushes Nightmare. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry. That's kinda
Well,
low for
it's too
a
late
ball.
now.
It doesn't really. Well, that and it wouldn't really change anything unless it does. Well, does he get to roll damage?
All
But
it would have
wouldn't
done
really
was
change
knock
anything
it prone
because-
and maybe do a little bit more damage because the lightning strike's coming from above. The only direction you go is
Right.
down. But
And the
we
horse is
missed
quick
it.
enough
So
to hit me.
yeah.
God damn it.
Indigo, it's your turn.
I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna attack the knight. Primary fighting, secondary shooting,
Cool.
or -2.
I don't think that hits.
11.
I think you need higher than that. Yes, that's a miss. That's also a miss.
I shoot a reporter.
And Wilhelm
Please
scream.
don't make me shoot a.
Wilhelm
Please don't
scream.
make me shoot a reporter.
Okay.
Okay, do the cards real quick. Be right back.
I gotta still get shitty stuff.
All right. When he gets back, he needs to beat a 3.
I think he could do it, unless he gets a 1 2 times. Or a 2.
You couldn't have waited 8 more minutes. We're almost done with the session.
Apparently not.
I'm gonna roll for him. Nope, he's back. Roll
He's
agility.
back.
You have to beat a 3. Roll agility. You have to beat a 3. You're muted. You
You're
beat
also
it.
muted.
You're up.
I'm gonna repeat my stabby stab against the knight.
Okay. Nope.
And my
Fight
shooting.
continues.
You
That's
done?
it on my turn.
Okay. Black Knight. He's
Continues.
gonna swing a sword. I'm gonna use a Benny.
We're gonna use another Benny.
Zeus.
Alright, well, I'm gonna flavor it up a little bit. I'm gonna multi-action. I'm gonna lightning strike. Have a modifier on my storm called Gal Force, which lets me
Gale
concentrate
Force.
this. Gale Force, shut the hell up.
It is a
Which
word
lets
and
me
it means
concentrate-
things.
Concentrate the storm in a large burst template. Oh wait, no, I'm probably further than 24 inches away. Or
Yes,
am I?
you're probably further than 24 inches away.
Well, I guess I just shoot him with a lightning. And I got 4 bennies, so I guess what's gonna happen?
You hit with the raise?
It's same one, Nightmare.
Yeah, I know.
And this time, if it's a 20, he flies away.
Well, he flies into the ground. Oh, just shy.
Whatever.
That's 2 wounds. So he's gonna use its last Benny. Just soak it.
It's cool with me, I'm making them waste bennies.
Alright, so now they're both out of
that's
their
it.
bennies, just the 2 I have.
I know, that's even better. Alright, I'm done.
Here's your queen.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's my 3d10s are shit.
Nope, still the same card. I was hoping if I looked away long enough.
Alright, Zeus, you're up again.
Same deal.
You hit?
No, I'm not gonna hope for a raise. Oh, I didn't put that. Well, whatever.
No dice.
Whatever.
Black Knight's turn. He's gonna swing a sword.
Managed to parry again.
Do you?
So it is just like I do.
You
I
do,
do.
yeah,
I
you
think
do.
an impotent child
What
would.
is wrong with both of you?
Alright, Nightmare's gonna attempt to light you on fire. Wait. I was rolling nightmares. Son of a bitch.
Haha.
Does a 9 hit?
What's his?
It doesn't. It's kind of you to ask.
Alright.
5 hit.
Now it's Nightmare's turn. A 9 doesn't hit?
Now he rolls
Fucking
his fire.
It doesn't.
beat that with agility.
Now you gotta block.
I will do my best. I have a 1 in 6 chance.
Take 4 damage. Your turn.
This damage
So-
is real.
Still staying inside of melee range. They're making their pass. I spin around. I'm gonna leap up into the air, again, flying for dramatic effect, and I'm going to hold my blade up into the air and say, "As the gods will," and really hope that Zeus gets the message. I'm going to attempt to perform a power trick and see if
Oh.
I can channel Zeus's lightning strike through my blade.
I was kind of like on the blade.
That costs
like,
a penny,
I
does it
can't be
not?
saying that. It costs a penny.
Why
To
would
do
it
a
cost
power
penny?
trick?
Do a power trick, it does cost a penny.
Never. That
Yeah, I can look
Really?
at it.
Power trick.
Yeah.
When a power affects a
Power
target,
trick.
either as an attack or resist power, it can be used a power trick below by describing the action, taking -2 penalty to the active skill. If successful, the power works as usual, and the trick chosen from the list below is triggered as well. Maybe
Oh,
we're
my
talking about
action, that'd be
power
a penny.
stunt, or do you
Yeah,
want
power
to
stunt.
do you want to use a power trick because they're different?
If you use a power trick, you have to pick one of the 4 things or 5 things. Sorry.
Oh, but if I want to like use the two together, it's something else. Okay.
It could
A
be-
power
I mean,
stunt is
okay.
allows you to use another power through the use of another power.
Yeah. So I don't know. You electrify your blade.
Now
I don't
you
know what
can
the
do
hell
a
it's gonna
power
do.
trick and do a setup,
You get +2.
Well, the power. Well, okay.
and the
so
power
no,
trick does not cost a penny. You just get a -2 on your action.
So
Yeah.
what I'm hoping, so the power I'm trying to invoke here is I want Zeus to charge my blade, and in that flash of an effect, it will lower the defense of both targets for my next attack.
Yeah,
You
that'd
can't
be
do
a power
both
trick.
targets, but you can do one target.
Which is because it's a flash.
That's the way the power trick works. You can't do
Okay,
it
well
area
then I
effect.
pick the damn knight.
Okay.
Yeah, you
So
can
basically,
lower it
make your
by 2.
normal attack with a -2 modifier, and if you're successful, not only do you do damage, but the target's parry is lowered by 2. Actually, you know,
Until the end
instead,
of my
because
next
that doesn't really help, you just do a setup. Allies get a +2 bonus against the victim until his next action.
So I just have to land a fighting attack against him.
With a -2, yeah. With the -2, you hit.
There you
Right,
go.
so he has a
So
setup
that's my
on him.
turn, right?
Well, you do damage.
AP4.
AP4. That's gonna shake him.
AP40.
Alright. Hopefully Zeus gets to act before Black Knight, or else you're gonna lose that setup.
Or before Indigo Shade.
No, just
Okay.
before Black Knight's next action.
No, okay.
Zeus got a queen.
Oh, man. We'll see. I got the same queen as before.
So then, does that carry over to my turn?
No, allies.
For both?
Allies.
Oh.
You're not an ally of yourself.
You're just a white guy.
Well, it is
Well,
Zeus's
so
turn.
Does that make it easier for Zeus to shoot him?
Yeah, Zeus gets a
much.
+2 on his next action against Black Knight.
Man, I'll shoot him, I will. Good sir.
And after this
I may
round,
access
we're gonna
the
call it a
game.
night.
Okay, I
And
may
end
spend
on a
it.
cliffhanger.
Oh,
You hit with the
okay, I
raise.
don't have to. Alright, let me click raise, and... Oh, that's terrible. That's okay.
He was already shaken. However, I believe this particular character.
Nightmare. Yeah.
Wait, you're attacking Nightmare? Because he gave you the setup
I'm shooting
on,
Nightmare.
on Black Knight.
Oh, and Black Knight? Yeah, Black Knight. Alright, if it is on him, yeah.
Okay. You would have normally caused a wound. However, his suit of armor gives him hardy, which means he does not take a wound on an extra shaken result. So unfortunately, nothing gained.
Well,
But he does go
20
flying.
damage, though.
He does go flying. Roll
There
your
you go.
2d6.
Bacon's like, no, you don't get anything else because you suck.
All right, he gets knocked off of Nightmare and goes tumbling to the side, 9 yards away. I'm sorry, 6 yards away. And now Indigo, you're
And
up.
he's prone.
Yes, he's prone. So now you're in melee with Nightmare, but not with Black Knight.
Okay, well, I'm gonna
Tell
Go
Nightmare to
attack.
fuck off.
the Black Knight. I'm gonna fly over and attack the Black Knight.
Okay, that means
with the-
he's gonna get an attack of opportunity against you. You cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll agility. Beat a 10. He hit with a raise.
Why?
It's 2d6. This guy gets some pretty good
He only hit me
rolls.
with 5.
Right. That's a raise.
That's a hit.
That's over 4. Yeah, well, that's
I
whatever.
rolled 5. He rolled a 10, so he's hit me with.
So whatever,
as
he
soon
got
as
7
beats
damage.
as
He
soon as
beat
beats
you
he
plus
does
4.
damage, and then plus 4 it's a raise.
Oh, okay.
It's only 7 damage, so you're fine. Right, so you run, catching fire as you do, and you run over to Black Knight.
Okay, so my patented
1-2
heavy
punch.
shooty combo.
'Kay.
Yeah.
And he's prone, so I believe he gets a -2 parry.
Yep.
You hit.
You touch him right in the butt.
Not with a raise. AP4.
AP4, he is once again shaken. That
Hardy.
hardy is really hardy.
I tell you one thing.
So
if
I
was
mean,
in that
so
fight,
when
I'd
that
be
happens,
beating
I
his
have to
ass.
still shake him +4 to cause a wound, right?
Yep.
Pretty much.
You hit with the raise.
So I'll come through and I'm just gonna like bring down my sword in such a way that it like brings his shield into him and he's like, oh shit, and then I'm gonna bring my hand over and try to blast him and see if it hurts him at all. It counts as a heavy weapon if that matters.
It doesn't. But yeah, no damage. Alright. Nightmare is going to fire the blast so that it goes over his master's body. Roll.
It's
I'm gonna try to reposition my shield.
Didn't do it in time.
Ooh. Hit with a raise. But my shield managed to deflect just enough.
Alright, Black Knight. Taking the moment of you turning around to defend yourself against Nightmare, he leaps up and swings at you.
Shove his sword up your butt.
And we are going to use my last Benny to fucking hit.
Bacon is sad.
Alright,
Not this time.
and that's where we're going to have to end on the cliffhanger.
And we'll
Kind of
end
a
the
shitty
scene on
cliffhanger.
him saying,
Cliffhanger, fight's
"Fuck
not
it."
over. By the way, feel free on next session to call me. I'm helping that girl, but
I was waiting
Well,
for
I
you
mean,
to
you
say
know
you
what's
wanted to
going on.
intervene.
I was gonna say next session they're gonna end on Zeus flying in to help them.
We'll start
We'll
on
actually
you
get personal.
next session. Sound good?
that's fine. Well, I mean, if they don't think they need my help, but otherwise I would help.
Well, so far it's been... I mean, it's so far Black Knight's losing.
It's
I mean,
good even.
the only point of... if he didn't have Hardy, he'd have gotten some serious... He would have been wounded by now. Alright, so we're over time. Experience.
yeah.
2
We're
experience.
at 20. 2 XP. 22.
Alright, so next time we play will be the 5th. Yeah, so since we're over, I'm just going to wrap this up real quick. See y'all on the 5th.
There you go.
Okay.